but everybody needs a little bit of yoga. That helps with stabilization. That actually helps with the foundation of strength, depending on where you come from. Right now, that's not going to help me get stronger because I lift weights weekly, and do body weight stuff. But anybody who's going from like the couch to just anything, walking, building that capacity, maybe doing some yoga, maybe doing some fucking farmer's carries with some milk jugs.
Yeah, it's something basic. I laughed about the yoga thing, but I only laughed because the most fit, best I've ever felt in my entire life when I was in yoga 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. And I was also, when I was training multi-sport, triathlon, adventure racing, a lot of hours in the saddle, a lot of hours running, swimming. And I always made time for the yoga. And it was like, it was the best time of the week. It was like first off, it was as much for my mind as it was for my body. Right. Mm-hmm. And it took me out of training overtraining. I made that time so I wasn't out doing something that was taking away from my fitness or my capacity, which again, I think, there's such thing as overtraining and being under-rested, and the yoga kind of kept me straight. But it also helped with my flexibility and mobility.
Yeah, it's good for everybody. A lot of people who need rehab, they'll start with something like yoga and resistance bands because it's just super effective. And if you get good at yoga, in like a spiritual way, it's very good mentally. I'm sitting here talking about yoga and praising it, but I do it like once a week. I need to do it more. I know this, but my point is that there's places where everybody can start. And like nobody should have an excuse. It starts off with discipline. Once you figure out this is what I'm doing 30 minutes a day for the rest of my life, there's so many ways to get through it with stuff at home. And look, or you can join this gym, right? And you have everything here.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's different outlets. It's like, where do you go for this? I want to build my capacity. I want to build my strength. I want to build my muscular endurance and all of these things. I want to look like this guy. I want to be able to operate like this person. I want to move like that. Let's take it one step at a time. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's a lot of choices. And I tend to see that the community that we're within tends to drift or lean towards the more extreme. When I say extreme, I just mean the more intense or what they think they should be doing type of workout program, which oftentimes is way more than they can handle. They should be doing right now, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, if I'm tough, or if I want to show that I'm tough, or if I want to be as tough as that guy, I need to do what that guy's doing, which is this workout over here, right? And it tends to be very, if I'm being honest, very heavy with what you would see like in a military or paramilitary type of physical fitness training scenario. Like what I mean by that is it's very, very military or like law enforcement kind of, I guess that's what the foundations are kind of rooted in. And I would argue that a lot of that stuff is like, if that stuff, why is everybody getting hurt doing that? Like, like there's a ton of bad stuff there, but you're not a law enforcement officer, and maybe you were in the military, but that was 20 years ago, dude. So don't try. You're jumping from the frying pan into the fire here. Like, how do you assess your current level of fitness to know where to start? And it's because it's not jumping right into that.
So if we're like talking about people in the 2A community who are looking for fitness programs, and they're probably like, well, I shoot guns, I airsoft, or I want to shoot guns and be an operator. What are they going to do? They're going to look at like Navy SEAL workouts, right?
They're all over the place.
And
there's no shortage of those.
If I could guess, I think every Navy SEAL has a laundry list of injuries.
All of them.
Right? And you and me have injuries from CrossFit and
but they'll tell you they received those during many of them during the training that they had to go through to become SEAL. These weren't injuries necessarily injuries sustained while in combat or on deployment.
Yeah, and I think that just like anything, people are buying into, oh man, this is what operators do when they're operators, right? When realistically, some of those popular, Navy SEALs, operators, Green Berets, whatever, nowadays almost do nothing in kit, almost do nothing with the weight vest, almost do nothing with sandbags, unless they're selling you something. And most of them are doing a lot of resistance bands, a lot of moderate load weightlifting, not PRs. And they're throwing in some sort of cardio, some sort of a little bit of endurance here and there.
Try to keep the engine up to speed.
Yeah, this is what I see from all the biggest names. Even the people who they prioritize fitness as one of their highest priorities in their company, in their brand. Like there's Stairmasters, treadmills, bikes, rowers. There's not kit unless they're actually going on a ruck.
Right.
Right. And when you get good at going on rucks, you also get good at having knee pain. Right. And so I know I joke about this, but I know like the whole recce rifle thing, everybody wants to do these like hikes, these long distance hikes in kit. And yeah, I do too. I want to experience that maybe once every few months, right? Because I like my body and I like it being healthy. And so if that's the case, that's why we have things like Airdyne bikes and rowers and skis, so that you can keep your conditioning up to par with low impact movement, right? That keeps you in one piece. But again, I think people, they gravitate towards like the flashy military looking workouts, but what do you get out of that? Most of the time people selling that are like 145 pounds anyways, and they're flailing around on like pull-up bars. By the way, I'm really good at doing the flippy floppy CrossFit
Oh, are
pull-ups,
you now? Eh?
but with a weight vest. But
Floppy pull-ups?
you won't see me doing that anymore, because unless I'm coaching a CrossFit
Right.
athlete or in an actual CrossFit competition, which I don't care to do, you're not going to see me do that, because strict pull-ups is a necessity for being like an athlete, a functional athlete.
Being strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you'll never see me doing,
Floppy
butterfly, floppy pull-ups. Right.
Yeah. So you're training with purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So what am I doing? Well, this last weekend we did kneeling, standing, prone. We went from the ground into a standing position, into a running position, into a lunge position. Well, what do you think I'm going to do? Probably some burpees, probably some lunges, probably some push-ups, probably some Turkish get-ups. And I'm not going to run my body into the ground. I'm going to do, intervals, 5 sets of each, kind of cover everything, stay happy and healthy. And if I feel like my arms are getting small, maybe I'll throw some curls in there.
Yeah.
That never hurt nobody.
No. And who doesn't want to have a nice set of pipes?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that doesn't. The point of what I kind of took away from that is, I mean, that's how we sort of train regularly. That's what's in our programming, even if you're not out on the range shooting or even on the mat. But if you are on the range and you are on the mat and you take those things seriously, or again, you're preparing for, you just want to have confidence in getting off the ground, right? Those are all very, very easy movements to do that everybody can do. But when I walk into the gym, like when I walk into like your kind of mainstream big box gym, I do not see people doing those things.
No,
I see them sitting down. I see them lying down on benches. I see them sitting down on benches. I see them using machines to manipulate gravity and their bodies to focus very isolated, type of joint movement where they're partially stabilized by a piece of equipment or taking the need to have to stabilize out. And effectively it's anything but, and I hesitate with this word, but it's anything but functional. Meaning to me, what function means is, can your joints and your muscles, right, take your body through all the different planes, ranges of motion, and do that in an effective way where you can stabilize, decelerate, right, external loads, right, and then produce power, right, or force to get yourself out of that particular situation. So when you're talking about lunging or dropping into a kneeling position, can I get there quickly, under control, right, and stabilize and not be, rocking around, and then jump right back out of there and move to another position and then do it again? To me, that's functional in that sense, right? And again, not everybody's going to be doing that, but everybody should feel comfortable getting onto and off the ground, right?
But you would think that's a baseline, right?
Well, I mean, for me, it would be. I mean, so again, if you're evaluating your fitness, like what exactly is it that you need to be doing?
And we're just talking about like functional fitness, right? We're talking about preparedness. When I say functional fitness, that doesn't mean like I'm harping on CrossFit or something like that. I just mean like functionality on the range, in the day-to-day life off the range. Like, what do you think like humans did before all this technology? Like, you know what I mean? Like before like heavy weights. So like, I don't know, heavy weights have their place, but I always try to tell people, if you can you can squat body weight, deadlift body weight, bench half your body weight, and complete a mile, you're probably in good shape.